than our speaker tonight, who is Li Lu. He graduated from the business school, went immediately into the business of running a hedge fund, did it first for Julian Robertson with extraordinary success, and has since moved on to doing it for himself and his old professors with even, I have to admit, more extraordinary success. But beyond that, I think what you want to pay attention to is how basically does he put all these elements together in his own inimitable style. And with that, by the way, let me actually say one more thing. The speakers you're going to hear from have very different attitudes towards risk and very different degrees of optimism, which are particular to them and particular to the way in which they do investing. Li Lu's background is having survived as a leader of the Tiananmen Square protests and escaped with his life. In some sense, A, he's very optimistic, and B, after living with that kind of risk, the only thing left to do was run a hedge fund. I would keep that in mind as you listen to how he goes about dealing with this environment of being a professional investor and having to outperform all the rest of the world. Li Lu.
Well, what Bruce said about me must be true, because my evidence is my wife actually showed up to listen to me tonight. Now, I can guarantee that does not happen in our home. And also, I really felt terrific coming back to this class. I mean, this class, in many ways, is really what made my career. About 15 years ago, at the time, actually, I wasn't even a student at business school. I was accidentally brought into a lecture, I think, basically part of this class. And the speaker has a funny name that really reminds me of some kind of buffet lunches. Anyway, in the middle of the speech, listening to Warren, the light bulb kind of just went off, and I figured that I can do something in this business. And of course, at the time, I was a pretty desperate, recently escaped from China. I didn't know anybody, have a very little, connection whatsoever, and didn't have any money. In fact, I was deep in debt. And I was horribly worried about how do I ever make a living in this country. And I really didn't grow up with a capitalist culture either. So in the middle of his speech, I thought, well, what he said about investing really just so different from my perception of the stock market. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, gee, this may be something that I can do.